Good morning. On behalf of the President of the Marine Corps University and the Commanding General of Education Command, Brigadier General Field, and the Vice President of Distance Education and the Director of the College of Distance Education and Training, Mr. Terry Kerrigan, the Dean of the College of Distance Education and Training, Dr. John Himlaben, the Regional Director for the Quantico region, Mr. Mark Shigley. I am Gary Smith, the Regional Chief Instructor for the Enlisted Seminars for the Quantico region. Welcome to the 1TAC22 graduation for our Enlisted Seminars for the Quantico region. Our Enlisted Seminars consist of the Advanced School Seminar, which are our gunnery sergeants, the Career School Seminar, which is our staff sergeants, and the Sergeant School Seminar, which consists of our sergeants. So to the students, congratulations on your successful completion of your professional military education. Now, over the last 15 weeks, we have focused on various areas, i.e., administration and communications, leadership and ethics, and most importantly, warfighting. While we have honed in on each of these areas, but we have focused on your ability to critical think, which is so important. Now, we wasn't trying to teach you on what to think, but we certainly was trying to teach you on how to think. So that way you can focus in each one of these areas on anything that's put before you as you go back and you educate our Marines. And this has been lethality for our Corps. And I would say the instructor staff, which you have grown to become very familiar and fond of over the last 15 weeks. You know what most folks don't realize? I like to say this about our instructor staff. You know, we have 22 instructors, our adjunct faculty. Of the 22 instructors, I am proud to say of the 22, 10 have their PhDs. And of the 22, 14 of them have their graduate level degrees. But most importantly, of the 22 adjunct faculty staff that have been involved and engaged with these Marines over the last 15 weeks, all have undergraduate degrees. And these are enlisted Marines that are in front of our Marines, educating them for the force, educating them to be able to go back and engage, make sure that we educate our Marines. And this is lethality of the Corps. And I guarantee our Marines will take that back and they will go out and handle the various challenges that they will be faced with in the future. So to our instructor staff, thank you for a job well done. Enlisted Marines that are graduating here today. You know, as I have said, you know, we have discussed many things over the last 15 weeks. Now it becomes your job to go back and educate our force. Train your Marines, educate your Marines on these things that you have talked about. Well, I'm not going to belabor the hour, but I like to introduce today's graduation guest speaker, who is no stranger to the Marine Corps University. Now, Dr. Stephanie K. Murphy, Sergeant Major, United States Marine Corps, retired. You know, as I prefaced the conversation, she's no stranger to professional military education. You know, Dr. Murphy embodies what it means to be a Marine Sergeant Major. Sergeant Major Murphy, Dr. Murphy, she is the epitome of the total Marine. And those of us who know her, who has had the pleasure to serve with her, knows that she believes in the total Marine concept, especially professional military education. And if you looked at Sergeant Major Murphy, Dr. Murphy's resume, her record, you know, her work speaks for itself. You know, Sergeant Major Murphy, Dr. Murphy, has served at every level, battalion, regiment, and also finally at the general officer level. Sergeant Major Murphy has over 10 years time and grade as a Marine Sergeant Major. Now, I'm pretty sure you would probably figure out that she has broke all glass ceilings. But knowing Dr. Murphy the way that I know her, she could care less about breaking glass ceilings. It's all about impacting, serving the Marines, taking care of her Marines. She served, when I say break glass ceilings, being the OCS Sergeant Major, working at the general level officer. Sergeant Major Murphy is known. And, I just told you 10 years time and grade as a Sergeant Major. That tells us that, she's been around for a long time. And she took all those challenging, hard assignments. And her resume, having a PhD herself and taking all those challenging assignments, it's something to be said about that. And I would tell you, even in retirement, Dr. Murphy, Marines are still calling upon her, for mentorship and guidance. And also in retirement, Sergeant Major Murphy, the folks out in corporate America, are pinging her left and right. And when the New England Patriots, the NFL football team, New England Patriots, is seeking her out to come work their leadership development for them, it's something to be said when professional organizations. And so Sergeant Major Murphy, without further ado, I like to present Sergeant Major Murphy, Dr. Murphy, to the graduating class. So without further ado, Dr. Murphy.
All right.
Thank you.
Good day, everyone. To the President of Marine Corps University and the Commanding General of Education Command, Brigadier General Field, the Vice President of Additional Education, Mr. Terry Kerrigan, Sergeant Major Hensley, and the leadership, faculty advisors, staff, and specifically the sergeants, staff sergeants, and gunnery sergeants. Today, I bring you greetings and words of encouragement as you continue learning and developing and walking the life of leadership. Congratulations, Marines. Congratulations on taking this step toward your professional military education and growing as leaders. Today, I would like to pour out my ponder on the importance of professional military education within our ranks. We are all headed for the same direction, success. We are all headed for the same direction, success. Need I repeat that again? We are all headed for the same direction, success. Some common factors that we all share as NCOs and staff NCOs are that we all represent the love of God, Corps, and country. We are all headed in the same direction toward success. Think about this. Birds fly in a formation. You have a flock of birds, and at any given time during flight, there is a lead bird. Within the flock, all the other birds who represent his support system. The lead bird leads quietly, and the other birds chirp and shriek in motivational support of the lead bird. When the lead bird grows weary, one of the birds within the flock takes the lead, and the lead bird joins the formation. That's you. Remember, we're all headed for the same destination, in the same direction toward success as leaders. As non-commissioned officers and staff non-commissioned officers, we have the responsibility for being leaders and supporting other leaders in the fight. We must understand the wonder works of professional military education and the effects of knowledge and understanding our own path of leadership. We must stand fast on the fact that our behavior is contingent upon the motivation and performance of others, and that how we lead must be satisfactory. Professional military education educates leaders on the history of the military, strategies and tactics that have been used in war. It clarifies the understandings of leadership through the lens of past experiences and past military leaders. As General James Mattis, United States Marine Corps retired, once said, the most important six inches on the battlefield is between your ears. The importance of understanding past experiences and gained wisdoms reflect human nature at its highs and lows. These tools cannot be gathered without access to professional military education. We must be willing to compensate with our strengths for the weaknesses of our fellow NCOs and staff NCOs. We must be willing to allow our abilities to be complemented by the strengths of our fellow man. Each of you, regardless of your rank or experience, bear the burden of understanding the past, the present, and the future of our Marine Corps. The mission of the Marine Corps is our focus, and we must seek to achieve our mission daily as one team. Each of you have obtained the level of non-commissioned officer and have been entrusted to lead and guide our subordinates. But in order to successfully lead, we have to be great followers. 3 factors, I believe, that frame the importance of professional military education and influence the level of knowledge of leaders are motivation, attentiveness, and willpower. First, motivation. Motivation is the driving force that influences the leader to be an active and dedicated non-commissioned officer. Second, attentiveness. Attentiveness is a required component that leaders struggle with because of the many chaotic distractions. As an NCO, we must stay focused and tuned with your knowledge base to aspire to build your knowledge in depth to your craft and hone into new areas of discovery. Third, willpower. Willpower is that dose of medicine you need when life distracts and tries to stop you from increasing your knowledge base. When your basic, human, natural instincts give in to those know-it-all syndromes. Been there, done that syndrome. I'm the gunnery sergeant. You're the sergeant. False belief that you have conquered all the knowledge you need. Don't get stuck trying to lead the Marine of 2021 like you led the Marine of 2011. It will not make you successful. Knowledge is gained through experienced and honed daily manpower of your craft. Don't snooze on professional military education. It is definitely a need and not a want. As I close, I leave you with a scripture from Deuteronomy 1:12 through 15. How can I myself alone bear your cumbrance and your burden and your strife? Take you, wise men, and understanding, and known among your tribes, and I will make them rulers over you. And ye answered me and said, the thing which thou hast spoken is good for us to do. So I took of your tribes wise men and known, and made them heads over you, captains over thousands, captains over 100, captains over 50s, and captains over 10. And most importantly, I say, officers among your tribe. May these spoken words invest in your knowledge house and you continue to build. Congratulations on your success.
This concludes the graduation of the 1TAC 22 enlisted seminars. Semper Fidelis, Marines.